Hello there, Mohammed here, and today I've got some Modern Warfare 2 gameplay here with me using the AUG HBAR, just a selection of clips that I've sort of mashed together to act as the backdrop of this video, where I'll just be discussing something that I picked up from this book, which relates very well, actually relates exactly to the topic that I'm going to talk about, which is about dealing with death, or the thought of death. Um, First off, I'm not trying to sound like an expert or anything. It's just I just read something and I thought it was interesting and I thought it'd be, you know, I'm interested in it and I just thought it'd be a nice thing to maybe talk about for a video. And just got some paper here. Sorry about blowing my nose. It's just a bit blocked. But yeah, you don't want to know about that. Anyhow. When I talk about dealing with death, for many people, death isn't that much of a concern because they believe in an afterlife of some sort, or they generally believe in an experience after death, that this life isn't the only life we have, and that in some sense we are eternal. And for those people, they don't have to worry as much as those who don't believe that. For those who believe that our life on Earth, this is the only life we have, and that after death we don't experience anything anymore, and we are no longer conscious of anything, we no longer exist, that creates a bit of a worry amongst those people, because the idea of not existing is it's a bit scary. Actually, I'll take that back. It's very scary. Um, no one likes that idea of imagining what it would be like to not exist. And like I said in this book that I've read, because I've kind of decided that I plan to study philosophy at university, so I've been reading some stuff to kind of give me some insight. And in this one book I saw, there was a particular philosopher that was mentioned called Epicurus, who was an ancient Greek philosopher, and basically his idea on philosophy was it's meant to help practically kind of improve life, and that life is kind of all about increasing the amount of pleasure you have and reducing the amount of pain that you suffer. And to him, fearing about death and not existing after you die was a bad thing and something that you shouldn't do, and was something that's based on bad logic. And he had two sort of main points that he mentioned to people that he used to try and make them no longer worry about the sort of the fear of death. And that's basically what I just want to talk in this video about now, because I feel that it's something that, when you think about it, it makes sense, and I don't know, it seems to work for me, because now I kind of just sort of, I'm not worried anymore. And that's not what I'm trying to have this video be, it's just an interesting idea that I saw, and I thought it'd be something that other people might also appreciate, hearing. So, I'll start now by saying what they are. The first thing that he pointed out was that what the experience when we try and imagine, he thought that was wrong. He thought that that death in itself isn't an experience. Death is not something. Death is not something that you experience, and what death is sort of like the promise of not existing and not experiencing anything anymore. So he thought that when people try and imagine what the moment sort of like after your death would be like, he thought that it was wrong for people to imagine death as an experience, because that's not what death is. Death in that case is when you're no longer conscious of anything. So you can't consider death as an experience anymore. So hopefully that idea's come across clearly enough. And the second point that he also made was that when we think about not existing, we tend to worry more about not existing in the future rather than not existing in the past. And when he pointed out that when you think of the trillions of years, well, maybe not for him that, but when you think of all the time that has happened, that has taken place, all the things that have taken place before your birth, your conception, your existence, you're not worried or afraid about. You weren't worried or afraid about not existing in the past. So after pointing that out, it follows sense that you shouldn't really worry about not existing in the future, because in reality that's the same thing. So if you're not worried about one, you shouldn't be worried about the other. And when I read that, I was like, that's a good point, because you tend to worry about the things that that you're gonna miss out on, and you're anxious about what will happen, rather than thinking about when you didn't exist before. And that's something that kind of personally for me put my mind at ease a bit about worrying if there's no experience after death, because in reality there's no difference between not existing before your birth and not existing after your birth. So it does make sense that you shouldn't have to worry about both of them. Those are really the ideas that the main ideas that Epicurus had. And again, I really just thought this was just something that might maybe even be useful for someone. I know that a lot of people, not a lot of people, the few people who watch these videos are probably too young to care, but maybe for someone it might be helpful. But thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.